On a distant alien planet named Verela, the sky was a deep shade of gray, swirling with dark clouds that seemed to echo the despair of its inhabitants. Verela had once been a vibrant world filled with lush forests and beautiful cities. But now everything had changed. A powerful storm had struck, more devastating than any the planet had seen in centuries. Buildings lay in ruins, and the once bustling streets were silent, except for the cries of those who had lost their loved ones. The people of Verela were in a state of panic and confusion, their hope fading with each passing hour. Zara, a young and determined alien leader, stood atop a crumbled wall, surveying the destruction around her. Her heart ached as she watched her people scatter like leaves in the wind, fear written across their faces. She had lost so much in this calamity, her home, her friends, and most painfully, her younger brother. His laughter, once a source of joy, was now a haunting memory. She closed her eyes, trying to block out the overwhelming sadness, but it was impossible. As Zara took a deep breath, she felt the weight of her responsibility. She had always been taught to be strong, to lead her people through the darkest times. But this was different. The storm had taken everything from them, leaving behind a desolate landscape and shattered spirits. Zara knew she had to act, but how could she restore hope when her own heart felt so heavy? Just then a rumble echoed through the air and Zara looked up. Dark clouds churned ominously, signaling the arrival of another storm. Panic surged through her as she realized the danger. "We cannot survive another disaster," she thought. She needed to rally her people, to remind them that they were still alive, that they still had each other. But as she glanced around, she saw many of them were losing faith. Their eyes were filled with despair, and Zara felt a chill run down her spine. In the midst of her thoughts, an ancient tale resurfaced in her memory. It was a story told by the elders about a resilient race known as humans. Humans, the elders had said, are known for their courage in the face of overwhelming odds. They fight for their survival and never give up. Zara had heard tales of their battles and how they had turned the tide in desperate situations. Perhaps they could help. Perhaps they were the key to saving her people. Determined, Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite the storm brewing above. She gathered the remaining crowd, her heart pounding. "Listen to me!" she called out, her words echoing against the ruined structures. "I know you have lost hope, but we are not finished. We have the power to rise again. We can rebuild, but we need help." Her words sparked a flicker of curiosity among the crowd. "Help from whom?" a voice shouted from the back. Zara took a breath, knowing she had to be brave. "From the humans! They have faced their own tragedies and emerged stronger. If we reach out to them, they may come to our aid." The crowd murmured, a mix of skepticism and intrigue spreading among them. Could humans really help? They were so far away, and the alien council had warned them against seeking assistance from an unknown race. But Zara's resolve did not waver. She remembered her brother's smile and the promise she had made to protect their people. "If we don't act now, we will lose everything," she declared. "We will send a distress signal to Earth and ask for their help. We cannot stand alone any longer." As Zara finished speaking, a gust of wind howled around them, and she felt a surge of energy and hope rising within her. Maybe, just maybe, this was the turning point they needed. With the council's approval still uncertain, she turned to her closest advisor, a wise elder named Kalen, who had always supported her dreams. "We must act quickly," Zara urged him. "Our people need to know that there is still hope." Kalen nodded slowly, his eyes filled with understanding. "I believe in you, Zara. If humans can save us, we must try. We will gather the resources needed to send the signal." With renewed determination, Zara and Kalen worked swiftly to prepare the distress call. Just as they were about to transmit the signal, another dark shadow fell across the sky. The ground shook, and Zara's heart sank as she realized the storm was only the beginning. The enemy was coming, and they had no time to waste. In this moment of uncertainty, Zara steeled herself. She was ready to fight for her people. As the storm raged on, she would do whatever it took to bring hope back to Verela, even if it meant reaching out to the humans, the legendary heroes of her childhood stories. With the future of her people hanging in the balance, Zara knew this was just the beginning of a perilous journey. The next steps would be filled with danger, but she would not falter. Hope had to prevail, and she would ensure her people had a chance to rise again. After sending the distress signal, Zara felt a mix of hope and anxiety. She had done what she believed was right, but now the weight of her decision began to settle on her shoulders. The Alien Council, the group of leaders who made important decisions for their planet, were not pleased with her choice. They met in a grand chamber, their faces grim as they discussed the implications of reaching out to humans. "Zara's decision is reckless," one council member said, his voice thick with skepticism. "Humans are unpredictable. We do not know their true nature. What if they come and only bring more destruction?" Another member shook his head. "We cannot trust them. They may see us as weak and take advantage of our situation. Inviting them here could lead to our downfall." The council members debated heatedly, their words echoing off the high walls. Zara stood outside, listening to their doubts and fears. Her heart sank. She knew they were afraid, but she also believed that humans could help. Back on the surface of Verela, a tense silence hung in the air as Zara awaited a response to the signal. Hours passed, each minute stretching into what felt like an eternity. She tried to reassure her people, but deep inside she could feel her confidence wavering. What if she had made a terrible mistake? What if humans didn't respond? Just then, without warning, the ground trembled beneath them. Zara looked up in alarm as dark shapes blotted out the sun. A massive fleet of alien ships appeared in the sky, their weapons primed and ready. "It's an attack!" someone shouted, panic spreading like wildfire among the crowd. Zara's heart raced as she realized that their enemies had found them. As the ships unleashed a barrage of laser fire, chaos erupted. Zara felt the ground shake as explosions rocked the area. She knew they were outnumbered and outmatched. "We need to take cover!" she yelled, rallying her people. They scrambled for safety, but Zara's mind was racing. With everything happening so quickly, she glanced back at the sky, hoping against hope for a miracle. "Where are the humans?" she thought. "Did they even receive our signal?" Just then, as more blasts shook the ground, a glimmer of light pierced through the chaos. Zara squinted, her heart leaping. Could it be? Was it help coming from Earth? The light grew brighter, and for a moment time stood still. Zara's breath caught in her throat. Would the humans arrive in time to save them? As the attack continued, she felt both fear and hope clashing within her. The fate of her people rested on the response of a distant race. The cliffhanger hung heavy in the air. Would help arrive, or would Verela fall to darkness? Zara could only wait and pray for a sign, her heart racing with the anticipation of what was to come. Just as the alien ships filled the sky, a new force emerged from the depths of space. Zara squinted against the blinding light as a fleet of sleek, futuristic warships appeared, cutting through the clouds. These were humans, and their ships glimmered with advanced technology. The vessels had cloaking devices that made them look almost invisible, and as they activated their systems, they shimmered in and out of view like ghosts. Zara's heart raced with a mix of fear and hope. As the human fleet descended onto Verela, Zara gathered her people. She had never seen anything like these ships before. The humans were known for their courage, and she prayed they would be just as brave in the face of this crisis. But as the humans landed and disembarked, a wave of uncertainty swept over the crowd. Zara could see the humans were equally cautious, their faces filled with confusion as they observed the alien world around them. In the initial meeting, misunderstandings arose. The humans, dressed in their military uniforms, raised their weapons, perceiving the Verelans as a threat. Zara raised her hands, signaling peace, but the tension was thick. "We are not your enemies," she called out, her voice echoing across the battlefield. At that moment, a man stepped forward. He was tall and commanding, with a strong jaw and piercing blue eyes. This was Captain Alex, the leader of the human fleet. He looked at Zara with a mixture of curiosity and determination. "We received your distress signal," he said, his voice steady, "but we didn't expect to find a battlefield." Zara and Alex locked eyes, and in that moment they both understood that they were on the same side. Zara explained their situation, the attack from the alien ships, and their desperate need for help. Alex listened intently, his expression softening as he realized the truth of her words. "I believe you," he said finally. "We came to help. Let's work together." Zara felt a rush of relief wash over her, and gratitude swelled in her heart. As they coordinated their efforts against the attacking fleet, Zara found herself drawn to Alex. She admired his bravery and leadership, watching as he confidently commanded his crew. There was something remarkable about him that resonated deep within her. For the first time since the catastrophe struck, she felt a flicker of hope, not just for her planet, but also for a connection that was beginning to form between them. As they fought side by side, Zara and Alex shared moments of laughter amidst the chaos, and she felt a bond growing stronger with every passing second. The thrill of battle, combined with their shared goal of protecting Verela, ignited a spark between them. Little did they know that this alliance would lead not just to survival, but also to a friendship that had the potential to bloom into something deeper. As they stood on the brink of war, a new chapter in their lives was beginning. One filled with adventure, courage, and perhaps even love. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, united in their fight against a common enemy and the dawning of a new, uncharted relationship. As dawn broke over Verela, a tense silence fell across the alien landscape. Zara, Captain Alex, and their combined forces prepared for the inevitable return of the alien attackers. The dark shadows of the enemy fleet loomed on the horizon, and everyone knew that the time for talk was over. The humans and Verelans had to join forces to defend their home. The atmosphere crackled with tension as the alien ships approached. Captain Alex stood at the command center, rallying his troops. "We fight for our survival!" he shouted, his voice ringing with determination. "Today we show them that we will not back down." His words ignited a fire within everyone, and Zara felt her heart swell with pride. Together, they were ready to confront the threat. As the alien ships descended, the humans unleashed a massive orbital bombardment. Bright beams of energy shot from their warships, illuminating the sky like fireworks. Zara watched in awe as the enemy ships exploded one by one, sending debris scattering through the atmosphere. But the enemy was relentless. They returned fire and chaos erupted. Cloaking technology became crucial as the human warships maneuvered through the battlefield, dodging enemy blasts. Zara and her people, equipped with their advanced weaponry, fought valiantly on the ground. The sound of lasers and explosions filled the air as both sides clashed in a brutal dance of destruction. Zara led her forces into battle, her heart pounding with adrenaline. The ground combat was fierce, with both sides exchanging fire in a whirlwind of chaos. Humans and Verelans fought side by side, their hearts beating as one. They used everything at their disposal: shields, combat drones, and even improvised weapons from the alien terrain. Zara felt a rush of bravery, knowing that they were not alone in this fight. But then tragedy struck. In the midst of the battle, Captain Alex's close friend, Bonner, charged forward to cover their retreat. With his weapon blazing, he fought bravely, taking down several enemy combatants. "Keep moving!" he yelled to his comrades, his face determined. But just as victory seemed within reach, a blast hit him directly. Zara gasped as she watched Bonner fall, the light in his eyes flickering out. The sight of his lifeless body sent shockwaves through the ranks. Fear and sorrow gripped everyone, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. Captain Alex felt his heart shatter. "Bonner!" he shouted, rushing to his friend's side. The pain of loss surged through him, filling him with both anger and despair. Zara reached out to Alex, knowing that this moment was pivotal. "We have to keep fighting," she urged, her voice firm despite her own grief. "For Bonner, for our people." With renewed determination, they pushed forward, driven by the memory of their fallen comrade. The battle raged on, the stakes higher than ever. Every explosion echoed Bonner's bravery, reminding them of what they were fighting for. With tears in their eyes and fire in their hearts, the humans and Verelans pressed on, determined to honor their friend's sacrifice by defending their world. The epic confrontation had only just begun, and the outcome would shape the fate of both races forever. As the battle continued to rage around them, Zara and Captain Alex knew they had to think strategically if they were to overcome the powerful alien forces. They gathered their best minds, brilliant scientists from both species, to devise a plan that combined alien technology with human ingenuity. "Let's use their own technology against them," Zara suggested, her eyes shining with determination. "We can adapt their cloaking devices and modify our weapons to make them more effective." Alex nodded, inspired by her ideas. Together, they began mapping out a strategy that would change the course of the battle. They worked tirelessly, blending the advanced capabilities of Verelan technology with human tactics. As they prepared for the final showdown, a sense of unity grew among their forces. The humans and Verelans trained together, sharing knowledge and skills, their bonds deepening with every passing hour. There was a shared understanding that they were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for each other. When the time finally came for the climactic battle, the atmosphere was electric. Zara and Alex stood side by side, ready to lead their combined forces into the fray. As the alien ships descended once more, the Allies activated their new technology. The air shimmered with energy as the cloaking devices worked in their favor, allowing them to strike with precision and catch the enemy off guard. The final confrontation was fierce. Humans and Verelans fought shoulder to shoulder, their fear replaced by courage and resolve. Zara felt a rush of adrenaline as she led her troops into battle, her heart racing beside Alex. Together they charged forward, refusing to back down. In the heat of the fight, they encountered the alien commander, a terrifying figure of advanced technology and malice. With their forces combined, Zara and Alex confronted him together. "For our people!" Zara shouted, her voice strong. Alex echoed her sentiment, rallying their soldiers behind them. With coordinated strikes, they unleashed their plan, overwhelming the commander with their teamwork. Just when it seemed like they might falter, Zara and Alex delivered a final blow together, bringing down the enemy commander. A cheer erupted from their forces as the alien ships began to retreat. The underdogs had triumphed against overwhelming odds. As the dust settled and victory washed over them, a new friendship blossomed between the humans and Verelans. They had fought as allies and emerged stronger than before. Zara looked at Alex, her heart swelling with gratitude and admiration. "We did it!" she exclaimed, a smile spreading across her face. Alex returned her smile, his eyes shining with pride. "We did it together," he said, stepping closer to her. In that moment, they both understood that their bond had grown beyond mere friendship. Their shared experiences, struggles, and victories had forged a romantic connection that felt as powerful as the battle they had just fought. With the threat of AI supremacy vanquished, Zara and Alex stood at the forefront of a new era of peace and cooperation. Together they looked towards the future, hopeful for what lay ahead, not just for their people, but for the love that had blossomed between them amid the chaos.